Captain Mira Jansen stood on the observation deck of the main fleet ship Horizon's Edge, staring at the swirling gas clouds of the neighboring star system. Her brown eyes scanned the horizon, not for danger but for the thrill of discovery. She had joined the interstellar fleet when she was barely 20, and now, after years of navigating uncharted space, she had learned one thing. Space was beautiful, but it was never forgiving. It was during a routine systems check that the first unusual transmission arrived. The communication officer, Lieutenant Soren, tapped the console with nervous fingers. "Captain, you should see this. It's unusual." Mira walked over. The screen flickered with strange symbols, alien in origin but strangely organized. The message repeated itself every few seconds, a pattern that hinted at intelligence. "Translate it," she ordered. Dr. Kellen, the ship's linguist and xenocommunication specialist, adjusted his glasses. "It's old galactic standard but heavily encrypted. Whoever sent this knew we would understand enough to respond." The message was simple yet astonishing. "Humans of Arinder, the Galactic Empire invites you to a peace summit. Deliver the order. Trust the Empire." Mira felt a chill run down her spine. The Galactic Empire was notorious. Tales of planets falling under its control, entire civilizations disappearing, and fleets obliterated were whispered in human colonies. And yet, here they were, receiving a personal invitation. "What is the order?" Soren asked. "That," Mira said slowly, "is what we have to find out. But we can't ignore this. The Empire doesn't invite anyone without a plan." Across the fleet, news of the message spread. Humans in the colonies debated its meaning. Some were eager to meet the Empire and establish trade. Others feared deception. Mira knew she had to act quickly. She called a meeting of the Fleet Council. In the conference room, humans from every colony gathered. There were engineers, soldiers, scientists, and diplomats. Mira stood at the head of the table. Her voice was calm but firm. "The Galactic Empire is inviting us to a peace summit," she began. "This could be an opportunity, or a trap. Either way, we need to be prepared. We deliver the order, but we do it carefully. No blind obedience." Dr. Kellen raised his hand. "Captain, the order itself could be dangerous. The message doesn't explain what it is. It could destabilize our colonies, or worse." Mira nodded. "Which is why we won't just follow instructions. We investigate. We watch. We protect our people." The council agreed and preparations began. The fleet would travel to the Empire's designated location, a massive structure orbiting a gas giant known as Zithron Prime. Rumors said it was a floating city, larger than any human metropolis. The journey would take months. Supplies were stocked, ships were checked, and crews were briefed on the possibility of hostile encounters. Even as preparations went on, Mira couldn't shake a sense of unease. The Empire's invitations always carried a hidden cost. She remembered the old stories her father told her, of explorers who never returned from summits that promised friendship. But she also knew humans had one advantage: ingenuity. Humans survived not because they were the strongest but because they were unpredictable. Days later, the fleet departed from Arinder. Ships glided past shimmering asteroid fields, past luminous nebulae that painted the void with color. Mira watched as the blue and green planet grew smaller behind them. She thought of the children playing in the parks, the scientists studying glowing plants, and the workers building the cities. They were the reason she had to succeed. As they approached Zithron Prime, the fleet detected signs of the Empire's presence. Patrol drones moving silently, massive shields that glimmered with energy, and towering ships that seemed to float effortlessly. Mira's stomach tightened. They were entering the lion's den and there was no turning back. On the fleet's main bridge, Soren spoke. "Captain, sensors indicate no hostile action so far. The Empire wants us to dock. They are welcoming." Mira frowned. "That's exactly what makes me nervous. Prepare landing protocols but maintain defensive readiness. I don't want surprises." The fleet entered the Empire's docking area. Gigantic doors opened, revealing the floating city in all its splendor. Spires of shining metal rose into the atmosphere, connected by glowing bridges. Ships of every shape and size moved gracefully, as if the city itself was alive. Humans couldn't help but be impressed, but Mira reminded herself, beauty could hide danger. An Empire emissary approached the horizon's edge in a small vessel. Its design was elegant, almost delicate, but it radiated authority. Mira watched as it docked. A figure emerged, tall and cloaked in shimmering robes. Its face was hidden behind a mask that reflected the light of Zithron Prime's suns. "Humans of Arinder," the figure said in perfect galactic standard, We welcome you. You have delivered the order, and now the Empire honors your bravery. Mira stepped forward. We deliver it because we must, not because we trust you. The emissary paused, then nodded slightly. Wisely spoken. Wisdom is rare in the galaxy. You will find the Empire values it. Even as the humans were escorted into the city, Myra's mind raced. The order was still unknown, and every step they took was a step into a carefully laid trap. But she also felt a spark of hope. Humans had survived countless dangers, and this was just another test. A test they would face together. That night, Mira stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Lights sparkled like stars, but the shadows between them reminded her that not all that shines is safe. The signal had brought them here, but it had also awakened something deeper. The human desire to survive, adapt, and rise above any challenge. She whispered to herself, "We came this far, and we won't be deceived." The signal had been received. The game had begun. Captain Mira Jansen stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge, watching as the enormous form of Zithron Prime came into view. The gas giant's swirling clouds reflected light from its twin suns, creating a kaleidoscope of colors that stretched across the fleet. "Captain, sensors confirmed the docking zones ahead," Lieutenant Soren reported. His voice was steady, but Mira sensed his tension. Humans, even the bravest, could not ignore the gravity of arriving at the Empire's heart. "Maintain formation," Mira ordered. "And keep shields ready. Remember, the Empire's welcome is not always what it seems." The fleet slowly descended, massive ships passing through layers of protective energy barriers that shimmered with golden light. The floating city above them was breathtaking. Its towers glistened with polished metal, bridges arched like glowing ribbons, and countless smaller ships moved in precise patterns around massive docking bays. It was a marvel of engineering, far beyond anything humans had ever built. Yet Mira felt uneasy. Something about the city was too perfect. The guards moved with mechanical precision, and no ship appeared to enter without immediate clearance. There were no random accidents, no mistakes. Everything here was controlled. As the humans docked, a group of Empire emissaries arrived to escort them. They were tall and slender, wearing robes that shimmered like liquid metal. Their faces were hidden behind reflective masks, giving them an almost inhuman appearance. They spoke in flawless galactic standard, their voices calm and measured. "Welcome, humans of Arinder," said the lead emissary. "The Empire honors your arrival. You have delivered the order, and now you will witness the power and wisdom of the Galactic Empire." Mira nodded politely, but her mind raced. "We are here to deliver the order," she said. "We expect no surprises." The emissary inclined its head. "No surprises, Captain Jansen. Only truth." The humans were escorted through grand corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly. The walls glowed softly and the floors were smooth metal, almost like glass. Every step echoed in perfect harmony. It was beautiful, but it felt artificial, like walking through a dream constructed by a machine. Dr. Kellen whispered to Mira, "There's something off. The energy readings here are unusual. The city itself seems alive." Mira nodded. "Stay alert. The Empire doesn't make mistakes like this. If something is wrong, we'll find it before it's too late." They reached a massive chamber at the heart of the city. Its ceiling disappeared into the clouds above, and the floor was a reflective pool of crystal. Hovering platforms carried Empire officials, moving gracefully as if they had no need for gravity. Humans couldn't help but stare. The emissary gestured for them to step forward. "You will be briefed on the Supreme Order," the emissary said. "It is a device of unimaginable potential, capable of stabilizing colonies and bringing prosperity to your people. The Empire entrusts you with this responsibility." The Supreme Order was placed on a pedestal. It was small, crystalline, and pulsed with a soft blue light. Its edges shimmered, reflecting colors that humans could barely perceive. Every human in the room felt a strange energy radiating from it. Lieutenant Soren whispered, "It's beautiful, but dangerous. I can feel it." Dr. Kellen stepped closer, scanning the device. "This energy signature is unusual. It doesn't just stabilize matter. It manipulates it. It could be a weapon or worse, a control device." Myra's mind raced. "Then we need to understand it before we leave. No blind obedience. No one touches it until we know its purpose." The emissary's voice echoed through the chamber. "You have been entrusted because the Empire believes in your wisdom. Deliver the order to your central hub, and your colonies will flourish." Mira exchanged a glance with her officers. She could see the conflict in their eyes. Trust the Empire or question everything. She made her decision. "We will deliver it," she said aloud, "but we do it our way." That night, the humans were housed in quarters within the floating city. Mira looked out from her balcony, the city lights reflecting off the clouds below. Ships moved silently above, a ballet of precision and control. Humans were small here, almost insignificant. Yet Mira refused to feel powerless. Humans had survived far worse. In the quiet of her room, she spoke with Dr. Kellen and Lieutenant Soren. "We need a plan. The Order is more than it seems, and I don't trust the Empire. We must study it carefully but discreetly. If this is a trap, we have to be ready." Kellen nodded. "I'll begin scanning tonight. We'll know more soon. But Captain, the energy is growing. It's responding to human presence." Mira frowned. "Then we're already part of whatever game they're playing. We have to stay alert and we have to stay human. Clever, resourceful, unpredictable. That's our advantage." Meanwhile, the city around them continued its quiet, perfect routine. Hovering platforms moved officials to meetings, and guards glided silently, observing everything. It was clear humans were being watched. But Mira did not fear. Humans had survived countless challenges, from collapsing colonies to alien predators. This would be no different. The next morning, the humans were guided to the Empire's research chamber. Here, the Supreme Order would be examined and humans would learn its secrets. Scientists from the Empire moved with precision, but Mira noticed subtle things. Small miscalculations, brief hesitations. Even in perfection there were flaws. Humans could exploit that. "Remember," Mira whispered to her team, "we observe, we learn, and we adapt. The Empire expects obedience, but humans are never predictable. That is our strength." As they approached the device, the Supreme Order pulsed brighter. Its glow reflected in the eyes of every human. Some felt fear. Some felt awe. But Mira felt something else: determination. The Empire may be powerful, but humans had something the Empire could never control: ingenuity and courage. The signal that had called them here had promised guidance, but it had delivered uncertainty. And in that uncertainty humans found their true test. The journey had only begun, and already humans knew that survival would require more than obedience. It would require wits, courage, and unity. And Captain Mira Jansen, standing tall amidst the Empire's marvels, was ready for the challenge. Captain Mira Jansen awoke before dawn, her mind already racing. The Supreme Order was waiting, pulsing softly in its chamber like a heart. Its glow seemed almost alive, as if aware of every step humans took. Lieutenant Soren and Dr. Kellen joined her at the observation deck, staring at the massive crystal-like device. "It's more than we imagined," Soren said quietly. "It feels intelligent." Kellen adjusted his instruments. "It's responding to us, yes. But not just to touch. It reacts to thought patterns, decision-making, even hesitation. This isn't a tool for stabilizing colonies, it's a device designed to influence behavior, maybe even control it." Mira clenched her fists. Then the Empire lied. This is no gift. It's a test. Or a weapon. The emissaries returned to escort the humans into the research chamber. The room was massive, with transparent floors that revealed the swirling gases of Zitharon Prime below. Machines hummed in the background, monitoring the Supreme Order. The humans could see faint patterns of energy running across the device, like tiny lightning bolts trapped in crystal. "You may study the Order," the lead emissary said. "But be warned, it is fragile. Its power is unmatched. Handle with care." Mira gave a curt nod. "We will handle it carefully, and wisely." As the humans began their examination, Kellen noticed something unexpected. The Supreme Order did not have a standard energy source. Instead, it absorbed energy from its surroundings, subtly drawing power from the ship, the room, even the humans themselves. "It's alive," Kellen whispered. "Or at least semi-sentient. And it's learning from us." Mira frowned. "Learning? Then it can anticipate our actions. It's dangerous if we just deliver it blindly." Soren, ever the practical officer, examined the device's interface. "There are control panels, but they respond differently to each person. The device chooses how to interact with us. I've never seen anything like it." Hours passed as humans tested the Order carefully. They discovered it could stabilize small matter, like repairing broken equipment, instantly. But when they tried larger tasks like manipulating heavy machinery, the device resisted, pulsing violently. The energy it emitted caused small tremors in the building. "This isn't just a tool," Kellen said gravely. "It's a weapon disguised as a gift. The Empire intends to use it to control colonies, or maybe even entire populations." Myra's mind raced. She had always known the Empire was deceptive, but seeing the Supreme Order in action made the danger real. If humans delivered it without understanding it, they could doom their entire civilization. "We need a plan," she said. "We study it, learn its patterns, and find a way to neutralize the threat if needed. But we can't just destroy it. The Empire will retaliate immediately." Soren nodded. "We could use it to our advantage. If we understand its energy patterns, we might turn it into a defensive tool instead of a weapon." Kellen's eyes lit up. "Yes. If we can channel the energy through human neural connections, it might amplify our strength instead of controlling us. But we must be careful. One wrong move." Myra's voice was firm. "Then we won't make wrong moves. We're humans, we survive by thinking differently, by adapting. This device is designed to control, but it cannot predict creativity." As the humans continued their analysis, strange phenomena began to appear. Lights flickered, machinery hummed oddly, and shadows seemed to stretch unnaturally. Even the emissaries looked concerned, though they never admitted it. "The device reacts not only to humans but to the city itself," Kellen observed. "It's interacting with Zitharon Prime's energy grid. The entire city is a part of it. That explains the surveillance systems, the perfect movements. Everything here is connected." Mira realized the implications. The Supreme Order was more than a weapon, it was a control network. Delivered blindly, it could enslave entire colonies without a single shot fired. But humans had something the Empire could never account for: willpower and ingenuity. "We need simulations," Mira ordered. "Test small-scale applications first. See what it does and find weaknesses. The Empire assumes humans will obey, but we won't. We'll learn, adapt, and survive." Over the next several hours, humans conducted cautious experiments. The Supreme Order emitted pulses of energy that mirrored their actions. It repaired broken tools, moved small objects, and even responded to emotions, glowing brighter when humans displayed confidence or determination. "This is incredible," Soren said, amazed. "If used correctly, it could enhance human capabilities far beyond current technology." Kellen nodded. "Yes, but it's a double-edged sword. The same energy that strengthens could also dominate minds. We have to be precise." Myra's mind worked rapidly. She envisioned a plan. Humans would study the device fully, then deliver it safely while secretly learning how to use it themselves. If the Empire tried to manipulate them, humans could turn the device into a tool of freedom instead of control. That night, Mira walked alone along the balcony overlooking the city. The floating towers glittered, but she saw the faint shadows of monitoring drones in the sky. She knew the Empire was watching every move. Yet she also knew something else. Humans had faced impossible odds before, and they had survived. "The Order thinks it can control us," she whispered to herself. "But humans are not predictable. We adapt, we fight, we survive. And we will not fail." In the chambers below, the Supreme Order pulsed in rhythm with the humans' thoughts. It was alive, powerful, and dangerous. But for the first time, humans understood a simple truth: the Empire underestimated them. And in that understanding, a spark of hope grew. If humans could harness the Order's power safely, they could turn the tables on the most powerful force in the galaxy. Mira returned to the control room. "Tomorrow we begin the final tests. We learn everything and we prepare for the journey home. The Empire expects obedience, but we will show them human ingenuity and courage. That is our real power." The Supreme Order glowed softly as if listening. And humans, standing together, were ready to face the challenge, to survive, and to rise above the Empire's deception. The real test had begun. Captain Mira Jansen felt uneasy. She had learned to trust her instincts, and right now, every instinct screamed that the Empire's gift was far from harmless. Lieutenant Soren was the first to notice anomalies. "Captain," he said, scanning nearby colonies, "our long-range sensors are detecting strange energy fluctuations along our route. Several of the smaller human settlements are reporting disruptions." Mira frowned. "Disruptions? What kind?" Soren's fingers danced across the console. "Cities losing power suddenly, communication arrays shutting down, even some automated factories reporting failures. It's almost as if something is interfering with normal operations." Dr. Kellen joined them, eyes wide with concern. "It's the Supreme Order. The energy signature matches perfectly. The device is affecting other human colonies remotely. And it's growing stronger the closer we get to home." Myra's stomach tightened. "The Empire warned us it would stabilize our colonies, but this is exactly the opposite. They've sent a weapon disguised as a gift. Every step we take, every signal we transmit, they're using it to manipulate our people." Panic began to ripple among the fleet. Messages from distant colonies grew more alarming. Cities flickering out of existence, machines going haywire, and citizens experiencing strange disorientation. Humans were scared, and the crew knew the Empire's deception was now clear. "We have to act fast," Mira said, her voice firm. "We cannot allow the Order to harm our people. Prepare for containment protocols. We'll isolate its energy until we understand how to neutralize it." But the Supreme Order did not make containment easy. It pulsed in response to humans' attempts to block or regulate it. Energy barriers bent and shimmered under its influence. Even the most advanced containment systems seemed ineffective. Soren ran diagnostics rapidly. "Captain, it's adapting. Every time we try to limit its reach, it finds another path. It's learning from our actions." Mira clenched her fists. "Then we have no choice but to outsmart it. This isn't just a machine, it's a challenge. And humans are best at challenges." As the fleet neared Arinder, the anomalies intensified. Cities that had once thrived were now eerily silent. Factories that produced essential supplies were malfunctioning. The Supreme Order's energy waves seemed to reach farther and farther, almost as if it were seeking to control humanity itself. The council gathered in the command room. Mira stood before them, her face calm but resolute. "The Empire has lied. The Supreme Order is not a gift, it's a weapon. If we deliver it blindly, it could enslave every human colony. But we are not powerless. We will contain it, study it, and use it to defend our people instead of harming them." Dr. Kellen stepped forward. "We've discovered something important. The device reacts most strongly to human thought patterns. If we can synchronize our neural energy, our collective focus, it may amplify our power instead of controlling us. It's risky, but it's our best chance." Mira nodded. "Then we begin preparations immediately. We must turn the Empire's trap into our advantage. But first we need intelligence. Soren, send reconnaissance drones to all affected colonies. Kellen, begin neural pattern simulations. We cannot act blindly." Meanwhile, reports came from across the fleet. Colonies experiencing strange phenomena, machinery acting against human operators, and citizens reporting vivid hallucinations. Some even claimed to see visions of the Empire's officials commanding them. Fear spread quickly, but Myra's leadership kept the fleet focused. "We survive through ingenuity and courage," she reminded the council. "Humans are not pawns. We adapt. We fight. And we will prevail." Over the next few hours, the fleet conducted rapid response missions to contain the anomalies. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to shield colonies from the Supreme Order's influence. At the same time, Kellen led simulations with volunteers, discovering that when humans focused collectively, they could neutralize parts of the Order's energy temporarily. Soren reported progress. "Captain, the energy waves are weakening in regions where humans concentrate their mental focus. It's as if the device respects determination and coordination. Individual effort isn't enough, but united action, it works." Mira smiled faintly. "That's the human advantage. The Empire can manipulate individuals, but it cannot control united humans with a common goal." The fleet's first test came when they reached Drosen Colony, one of the most affected outposts. Cities were flickering in and out of energy and communications were chaotic. Using neural synchronization techniques, humans in the fleet focused on stabilizing the colony. Slowly, lights returned, machines resumed normal operations, and citizens regained composure. It was a small victory, but it proved a critical point: humans could fight back. That evening, Mira convened the council again. "The Empire tried to deceive us," she said. "The Order was meant to enslave, but we've learned something vital. Humans are unpredictable, resilient, and capable of unity. This is our strength. The Supreme Order may be powerful, but it is not invincible." Kellen added, "We can use it to protect our colonies and even turn its energy against the Empire if needed. But we must remain cautious. The device is still learning and it will adapt if we are careless." Mira nodded, looking out at the stars. "Then we remain vigilant. The Empire expects obedience, but we have proven that humans do not follow blindly. We survive through courage, creativity, and determination. That is what makes us strong. That is what the Empire fears." As the fleet continued toward Arinder, signs of the Empire's deception became even clearer. Systems designed to assist humans were failing, colonies were destabilized, and strange patterns of energy traced back to the Supreme Order. But every challenge also revealed human strength, their ability to adapt, to work together, and to turn danger into opportunity. And as night fell across the fleet, Mira knew one thing for certain: Humans had faced impossible odds before, and they would survive this deception as well. The Empire had underestimated them. The Supreme Order might be a weapon, but humans were learning to wield it as a shield. The galaxy would soon discover that humans, when united and resolute, were not easy to deceive. The true battle had only begun. Captain Mira Jansen knew that mere defense would not be enough. The Empire had sent the order with a purpose, and if humans did not act decisively, the threat would grow stronger. In the command chamber of the Horizon's Edge, Mira addressed the Fleet Council. Officers from every colony were present, their faces tense but determined. The Empire thinks they can control us with fear and deception, Mira began, her voice steady and commanding. They sent the Supreme Order as a weapon. But we have discovered its weakness. It responds to human thought and focus. If we work together, we can turn it against them. Dr. Kellen stepped forward. Captain, the simulations are promising. When humans synchronize their neural energy, the Order can amplify human capabilities instead of controlling them. It could enhance ship systems, strengthen defenses, even improve reaction times in combat. Lieutenant Soren added, "We've seen the early results in Drosen colony. The moment humans acted in unity, energy disruptions stopped. We can replicate this across all affected colonies, but it requires coordination and courage." Myra's eyes swept the council. "Then we have a choice, continue to react or take the initiative. The Empire will not wait for us to decide. If we hesitate, more colonies will fall. We must act, together, decisively and without fear." Over the next several hours, humans devised a strategy. Neural synchronization devices were distributed to every ship and key colony. Crew members were trained to focus collectively, projecting calm, determination, and strategic intent. Every human, from engineers to medics, learned to channel their focus into the Supreme Order's energy, turning its influence into a shield rather than a weapon. Even as preparations progressed, subtle warnings appeared. Colonies still affected by the Order experienced brief surges of chaos. Lights flickered, machinery trembled, and some citizens panicked. But each time humans responded quickly, reinforcing their unity and recalibrating the device. The Supreme Order, designed to control, began to obey human ingenuity instead. Mira stood on the bridge, watching the fleet's training exercises. Ships moved with precision, responding instantly to crew commands enhanced by the Order's energy. Systems that had once faltered now operated flawlessly. Humans were no longer merely defending themselves, they were mastering the device, shaping it into a force of protection and strength. "This is it," Mira said quietly to Kellen and Soren. "The Empire expects fear. They expect us to falter. But humans are unpredictable. We learn. We adapt. We survive." Kellen nodded. "We've seen the evidence. With collective focus, the Order amplifies human potential. We can now plan offensive measures if necessary, but our priority remains the safety of our people." Soren smiled faintly. "The Empire might think they control the galaxy, but they haven't faced humans united like this before." The next challenge came sooner than expected. Reports from outer colonies indicated increased interference. Ships malfunctioned, communication arrays scrambled, and automated defenses misfired. The Supreme Order's energy seemed to intensify, almost as if it were resisting human control. Mira convened the council once more. "This is the moment we test our resolve. The Supreme Order can no longer be seen as a threat, it is now a tool. If we coordinate across the fleet, we can stabilize every colony before the Empire can exploit the chaos." Teams were dispatched immediately. Human crews linked neural synchronization devices, projecting collective intent across the fleet. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Energy surges from the Order stabilized, systems normalized, and colonies began to recover. Humans cheered as cities' lights returned, factories resumed operation, and communication lines reopened. "The Empire has underestimated us," Mira said, her voice carrying both relief and determination. "They sent the Supreme Order to enslave, but they have only revealed their arrogance. Humans are clever, resilient, and united. That is our true power." Kellen added, "We've learned something else. The Order can be used offensively. If the Empire challenges us directly, we can amplify our ship's capabilities, defend colonies more effectively, and even manipulate energy to outmaneuver their fleet." Myra's mind raced with possibilities. "Then we prepare for the inevitable. The Empire will retaliate. They will try to take back the Order or destroy what we've built. But we will not run. We will face them with courage, intelligence, and unity. That is the human resolve." Over the next days, the fleet continued to strengthen their command over the Supreme Order. Engineers refined neural synchronization protocols. Scientists tested the device under stress. Colonies practiced coordinated responses. Each successful trial reinforced humans' confidence, and the once feared device became a symbol of hope and strength. The humans learned to trust themselves and each other. Fear no longer ruled their actions. Determination and strategy did. Mira walked through the corridors of the Horizon's Edge, observing the crew at work. Young recruits, seasoned officers, scientists, and medics, all were focused, united, and ready. Humans had transformed the Empire's weapon into their own advantage. As night fell over the fleet, Mira stood on the observation deck, looking at the stars. "We have survived deception," she whispered. "We have mastered the Order. And when the Empire comes, they will find humans stronger than they ever imagined." Soren joined her, watching the same stars. "Captain, do you think they realize what we've done?" Mira shook her head. "No. They assume fear and obedience. They do not understand human courage, unity, or ingenuity. And that will be their greatest mistake." Kellen approached, a faint smile on his face. "We are ready. Humans are no longer vulnerable. The Supreme Order has become our strength, not our weakness." Mira nodded, her resolve unshakable. "Then let the Empire come. We will protect our colonies, defend our people, and prove that humans are not to be underestimated. This is our time. This is the human resolve." The fleet prepared for the journey back to the heart of human space, stronger, united, and ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The Supreme Order, once a weapon of deception, was now a testament to human ingenuity. And in the quiet of the observation deck, Mira allowed herself a small, determined smile. Humans had survived, adapted, and transformed danger into power. The galaxy would soon learn that humans, when united, were unstoppable. Captain Mira Jansen knew the Empire would not allow their deception to fail so easily. A confrontation was inevitable. Early in the morning, sensors detected the approach of the Empire's fleet. Hundreds of massive ships appeared on the horizon, their dark hulls reflecting the twin suns of Irinder. The human fleet, though smaller, gleamed with determination. The Supreme Order pulsed with energy, ready to amplify human capabilities in the upcoming battle. Lieutenant Soren reported, "Captain, they are not negotiating. Their intent is clear, total control. They are attacking." Myra's jaw tightened. "Then we fight. Humans don't bow to deception. We defend our home and our freedom." The Empire's ships advanced with precision, firing energy cannons that lit up the void. The humans responded immediately, coordinating through the neural synchronization network. The Supreme Order's energy flowed through the fleet, enhancing shield strength, stabilizing engines, and improving targeting systems. Humans moved like a single organism, anticipating enemy movements with uncanny speed. "Steady," Mira commanded from the bridge of Horizon's Edge. "Focus. Our unity is stronger than their firepower." Dr. Kellen monitored the Supreme Order's reactions. "Energy is amplifying perfectly. Fleet efficiency is increasing exponentially. But remember, it responds to intent. Keep morale high and focus on precision." The first clash came in the skies above Drosen Colony. Empire ships opened fire on the city, attempting to disable the humans' neural networks. Lasers cut through the atmosphere, but human defenses, enhanced by the Supreme Order, absorbed the impact. City shields flared brightly, and drones guided defensive fire with unmatched accuracy. "Return fire," Mira shouted. "Use the order to strengthen targeting. Do not hold back." Human ships responded instantly. Cannons and missiles fired with unprecedented coordination. Every shot found its mark. Empire ships, expecting minimal resistance, began faltering under the precision and speed of humans' enhanced capabilities. Soren's voice was filled with awe. "Captain, our movements, they can't predict us. It's like the fleet is everywhere at once." Mira smiled grimly. "That's the advantage of unpredictability, Lieutenant. Humans are clever, resourceful, and united. The Empire underestimated us." In the chaos, the Supreme Order's energy surged further, resonating with human determination. Pilots reported faster reflexes, engineers repaired damaged systems instantly, and the morale of soldiers soared. The Empire, despite its massive fleet, struggled against a force they had assumed would be obedient and easily manipulated. Seeing the opening, Mira devised a daring plan. The Empire's flagship, a colossal vessel known as the Obsidian Throne, directed enemy attacks from the rear. Mira turned to Soren. "We take the flagship. It controls their fleet. If we disable it, the rest will fall into disarray. Soren nodded, and human ships began maneuvering in perfect coordination. Using the Supreme Order's amplified energy, they created energy shields that allowed them to approach the Obsidian Throne undetected. Mira personally piloted the Horizon's Edge, weaving through enemy fire with speed and precision far beyond standard human capability. As they closed in, Kellen activated the Supreme Order's final enhancement, a focused neural surge designed to disrupt enemy energy grids. The Obsidian Throne shuddered as its systems began to fail, and human ships surrounded it, attacking from multiple angles simultaneously. The flagship's energy shields flickered and collapsed. Mira led the final strike, guiding her fleet in perfect unison. With one coordinated surge, the Obsidian Throne was disabled, and the Empire's fleet lost coordination. Ships collided, retreated, or surrendered, unable to withstand the unity and ingenuity of humans. From the bridge, Mira watched the battlefield unfold. "This is what it means to fight as one," she said. "Humans, united and determined, cannot be defeated by fear or deception." Soren laughed with relief. "Captain, we did it. The flagship is down. The rest of the fleet is scattering." Kellen added, "The Supreme Order has amplified our strengths, but it has also amplified our courage. The Empire never expected this." As the dust settled in space, human forces turned their attention to stabilizing colonies affected by the Order's previous influence. Using the device, they repaired infrastructure, restored energy systems, and ensured civilian safety. The Supreme Order, once a weapon of deception, had become a tool of liberation and protection. Mira stood on the observation deck of the Horizon's Edge, looking at the retreating Empire ships. "The Empire has learned something important today," she said softly. "Humans are not weak. We are not predictable. And we will not be controlled." Soren joined her, watching the stars. "Do you think they will come back?" Mira shook her head. "Perhaps. But humans have proven something far more important. When united, we are unstoppable. And we will be ready." Kellen approached, a faint smile on his face. "The Supreme Order, it was meant to control us. Instead, we turned it into a shield, a weapon of protection, and a symbol of human ingenuity." Mira nodded. "Yes. Today, humans stood together and faced the greatest deception in the galaxy. Today, we became stronger than any empire could imagine. And tomorrow, we continue to build, to protect, and to rise." As the fleet regrouped over Irinder, citizens cheered, engineers repaired ships, and soldiers celebrated their victory. Humans had survived the Empire's deception and had turned a tool of oppression into a beacon of freedom. The Battle of Irinder was over, but its lessons would echo across the galaxy. Humans were clever, resourceful, united, and courageous. And the Supreme Order, once a symbol of fear, now represented the unstoppable spirit of humanity. Captain Mira Jansen allowed herself a rare moment of satisfaction. The Empire had underestimated humans, and that mistake would be remembered forever. The stars above Irinder shone brighter than ever, reflecting the victory and resilience of a species that refused to be controlled. The humans had won. Captain Mira Jansen knew this was not the time to rest. The galaxy was vast, and the threat of deception could return at any moment. On the bridge of the Horizon's Edge, Mira stood tall, looking at the stars. The Supreme Order, now fully under human control, pulsed with calm, steady energy. It had been a weapon of oppression, a device designed to enslave minds and colonies. But humans had turned it into a tool of strength, amplifying courage, coordination, and ingenuity. Lieutenant Soren approached, his face lit with awe. "Captain, the colonies are thriving. Systems are fully operational, and morale has never been higher. Humanity has truly proven itself." Mira nodded. "Yes, but we must not forget what brought us here. The Empire sought to deceive us, to make us pawns. They did not expect determination, creativity, or unity. And that is exactly why we survived." Dr. Kellen added, "The Supreme Order's energy, when synchronized with humans, is incredible. It can stabilize entire colonies in moments, enhance defensive systems, and even accelerate technological progress. Humanity now has the knowledge to protect itself, not just from the Empire but from any threat." Myra's eyes scanned the fleet, seeing crews working tirelessly, repairing ships and restoring communication networks. Every human aboard, every scientist, engineer, and soldier, had played a role in turning the Empire's deception into a triumph. She spoke quietly, yet her words carried the weight of leadership. "We came to deliver a gift, or what we thought was a gift. But the Empire had other plans. They wanted control, fear, obedience. And they underestimated us. Humans are not easily deceived. We are resilient, resourceful, and united. That is our true power. Soren smiled. It's incredible to see. Even when the Empire seemed invincible, we found a way to turn the odds in our favor. Together. Mira turned her gaze toward the Supreme Order. This device could have enslaved us. Instead, it shows our potential. It reflects humanity's ingenuity, courage, and ability to rise above any challenge. The Empire thought it could make us obedient. Instead, it made us stronger. In the colonies, celebrations continued. Children laughed as power returned to their homes, engineers marveled at systems repaired with the Order's energy, and soldiers shared stories of courage and clever maneuvers that had saved lives. Across Arinder, humans looked to the sky with pride. They had faced a force far greater than themselves and survived, not through brute strength, but through intelligence, unity, and courage. Mira convened a final council meeting. The Empire has been repelled, but this is only the beginning, she said. The galaxy is vast and dangers remain. But humanity has proven itself today. We are no longer just survivors. We are leaders capable of defending ourselves, our colonies, and our future. Kellen added, the Supreme Order, once a tool of control, will now be a symbol of what humans can achieve when we work together. It will help us advance, protect, and explore. Our future is brighter than ever. Soren looked out at the stars. Do you think the Empire will return? Mira shook her head. Perhaps. But humans are no longer those they can deceive. We have learned, adapted, and grown stronger. If they return, they will face a species united, capable, and unstoppable. And we will be ready. That evening, Mira walked the streets of Arinder's capital. Citizens cheered as she passed, grateful for her leadership and courage. She saw families reunited, children playing, and workers rebuilding. The city had survived, and humanity had emerged triumphant. She paused, looking at the sky above. The stars seemed brighter than ever, reflecting the victories of a species that refused to be controlled. The Supreme Order glimmered softly in her mind, a reminder that even in deception and danger, humans could find opportunity, strength, and hope. Humanity has survived the impossible, she whispered to herself. We have faced the greatest deception in the galaxy and emerged stronger. We are not just survivors, we are a civilization worthy of respect. As the night deepened, Mira returned to the horizon's edge. The fleet was quiet, ships resting after days of intense combat and coordination. She stood on the observation deck, looking at the galaxy stretching into infinity. A thought crossed her mind. The Empire had underestimated humans. But now the universe had seen their strength. Intelligence, courage, unity, these were not just words. They were the essence of humanity. And no weapon, no deception, no empire could ever take that away. Myra's final words to her crew echoed in the command chamber. We came, we faced deception, and we triumphed. Humanity is strong, clever, and united. Today we proved that we cannot be controlled. And tomorrow, the galaxy will know the same. The Supreme Order pulsed gently, now a symbol not of fear, but of human potential, courage, and freedom. Across the stars, whispers began to spread. Humans had fought deception, mastered a device designed to enslave them, and emerged victorious. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would not soon forget. Humans were clever, resourceful, and united. And in the vast reaches of space, they were no longer a species to be underestimated. Captain Mira Jansen stood tall, looking at the stars, proud, determined, and ready. Humanity had triumphed.